Jackson has done this before. He called it the Dark Souls 2 slow run. Anyway, yeah, caffeine man, give him a check.
Please don't. I feel like this man needs an intervention.
So I'm happy to drink anything that's raspberry lemonade, which I wish was a cool segue. Okay, Dan, here's what I'm gonna need you to do, okay? I'm gonna need you to do some mind work for me, okay?
Okay.
You know those like radio ads where they like cut in a bunch of clips from songs and there's like a bunch of radio static and there's like, DJ scratching going on while this like super bassed up voice just like talks?
I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. No.
It's one of those like radio like scratch points where it's just like, it's a little like,
oh, like
welcome to 95.9 The Cock, where we play rock so hard. Like that.
Welcome
so
back to Off the Air. That thing?
Yeah. So imagine like all those sound effects are happening right now. You ready? This is the intro to the hypothetical off the air AM radio station that's also like dark in it. Maybe more like a satellite radio show.
Yeah.
Because that way we can say the swear. Okay?
Yeah. Go for it.
It's time. Welcome back to Off the Air, the only podcast where you're allowed to say fuck.
Is that good?
Tonight, we're talking about all kinds of radical shit. Yeah. We're talking about Pokemon, Elden Ring, Swafivey, and Starlight Coke.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
I gotta say, that there's like a non-zero chance we miss any one of those things, and we're gonna just have to leave it in.
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
We can skip SWA5E because I know I said it wrong, but it's fine.
No, I mean, that actually works. SWA5E is fine.
I kind of want to start with that one now because we just talked about it so much.
You let that ride. I assume you were just gonna let it ride.
So I'm just like, I want to say thanks to Dan tonight because he came in here with this sick ass list of radical things.
I hate the word radical. The word radical is losing all meaning so quickly.
Isn't it just? I feel like, in my mind, a staple of late night radio and like stuff like that is people who say things that they should just stop. But B, like, a lot of the time you get like old rock stars as like nighttime DJs doing like some sort of like syndicated radio show. So you get to have the fun of people that are like, hey, I'm Nikki Sixx and I used to do heroin. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of cool things that like you guys don't even know about because you're a bunch of fucking kids. Oh, can't say that on the radio. Anyway, today we're going to be listening to some hard rock. And then like they put on his band 6 a.m. and they play a song and then they play some other classic rock hits and then maybe a Motley Crue hit. And he comes back and he's like, hey, Jessica Javis or whatever her name is. And she's like, all right, so here we are. We're going to talk about this. They talk about some shit for 5 minutes and then they default to like butt rock for the rest of the night. And it's just like, it keeps going off and on with that. Maybe they read a letter. Maybe they talk about some like real quick story and then we cut back. There we go. It's nighttime radio. The point is that they're dated and they talk about how kids just don't get it.
Yes. I want to open up
fire away with that drink corner.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off with a dance drink corner because I want to talk about Coke Starlight. Let me see if I can find the press release for this. So
sir, you said Starlight Coke.
Whatever, same thing. I'm gonna start out by saying because Jackson is let's start out here. It is obviously a late night episode because Jackson's not here and also Noah did that beautiful intro. And so with Jackson not being here,
if I actually care enough, I'm definitely going to try and put sound effects into it.
You're definitely not going to get around to it.
Then this is where you're calling me out right now. So y'all know.
So there's it's so fucking weird. It's so weird. Okay, so this is such like some big business bullshit. So last year, Coke came out with a new marketing strategy or new marketing like platform called Real Magic. The idea is just, hey, we want to try out new Coke flavors and we want to reach Gen Z. That's basically it. That's literally their whole platform. Now, their first flavor from this program came out. It is called Coca-Cola Starlight, which is a deviation from everything Coca-Cola has done to this date. As you know, all Cokes have been like Coke Vanilla or, Coke Cherry. They have actual like flavors. This is the first one that doesn't have an actual flavor attached to it.
Okay.
It's just,
okay.
It is a flavor, but it is not like a easily recognizable thing. Now, that also said, they have like a bunch of like launch shit. Who the fuck cares? None of it matters, right? I just want to talk about the actual drink because I'm drinking it in a rum and Coke right now.
Tight.
It is a weird fucking Coke. Michelle hates it, and she usually likes regular Coke. I hate cherry and vanilla Coke, but I really like this. The
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you immediately.
please.
You say you hate cherry and vanilla Coke.
Yes.
Am I correct in guessing then that that is the closest flavor you're picking up for this?
Cherry is where I was. Some kind of berry. I don't know if I'm actually picking up the vanilla or if I'm just putting vanilla in there. And it has this really interesting. The thing I've seen people compare it to cotton candy. I've seen people compare it to notes of strawberry.
Okay.
I've seen people compare it to just a lot of different things, and it's weird. The just a random article I'm reading is talking about how like actual cotton candy takes like wispy sugar. Cotton candy flavor always kind of takes like a toned down generic berry, and I think that's a pretty good way to describe it.
Okay.
A mild berry flavor in Coke. The interesting thing, and I don't know if it's me losing my mind or if it is actually something they did with it. You know when you drink something with like you have like a mint and then you have water, right? Your mouth tastes cold, for lack of a better word, right?
Oh, is this doing that?
It does just a hair of it in the aftertaste, and it's weird, not bad, but definitely weird. And I don't know if I like it or not, to be honest with you. Like I really don't.
I'm reading some of the press release, and it's saying that it's inspired by space and has notes reminiscent of stargazing around a campfire,
know,
as well as a cooling sensation that evokes the feeling of a cold journey to space. And some people are saying, because I guess some people are picking up like a chocolatey almost, maybe graham cracker, that they're guessing s'mores. And other people are saying raspberry because apparently space is supposed to taste like raspberry.
I almost can see where people are pulling graham cracker from, or marshmallow even, like a flavored marshmallow. I don't see chocolate at all. Like I don't taste any hint of chocolate, but sure. I could see a raspberry. I could see this being like a regular red, like a toned down red raspberry mixed with a hint of it has to be some kind of vanilla adjacent, and then whatever is doing this weird cooling agent. It's not bad. I really like it, and actually, I usually don't do rum and cokes, but I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna have a new Coke, I got to do a rum and coke. Like that just makes sense.
I do love a good rum and coke. Not gonna lie.
I'm usually meh on them, right? I'm doing it with just some basic Bacardi white rum right now, and I am loving it. I almost did it with like a spiced rum, but I felt like that might be too much flavor going on.
I feel like you need to try it straight first.
Exactly. I really like it. Like genuine credit where it's due. I don't know if I think it's supposed to be a limited run, so I don't think it's gonna stick around. But I really like it. It's tasty. It's a tasty Coke. I recommend. It is fine. Nice. It's a tasty Coke. I had to
see if I can find that tomorrow.
I had two other sodas this weekend, if I may.
Oh.
I almost forgot about them, but now I've reminded myself.
Now that we're talking soda.
Exactly. Mountain Dew dropped. What is it called? Mountain Dew has a new flavor. It is their what is it? Mountain Dew Spark. Whatever. It is I believe that is raspberry lemonade. Yeah, it's raspberry lemonade.
I've tried Spark.
It's pretty good. It's pretty new, but it's really, really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's this is the first like soda I'd had in a hot minute, so I was taken off guard by how sweet it is.
That's
I'm
fair.
not gonna pretend I wasn't. But after like you get halfway through the bottle, I'm like, okay, this is just like what Mountain Dew tastes like. It's good. It's not bad.
No, it's a totally acceptable. Yeah, I actually really like it. As far as like a Mountain Dew flavor, I'm not like a Code Red kind of guy. I do like some voltage, but like Spark is good.
Honestly, it might be my favorite Dew flavor I've had in
I think same, to be honest.
Maybe my favorite Dew flavor.
As somebody who used to drink a ton of Mountain Dew and has kind of toned back on his Mountain Dew a lot because it makes me hate myself, it's good.
That's fair. See, I'm a sucker for raspberry lemonade.
Same, dude. Same.
So I'm happy to drink anything that's raspberry lemonade, which I wish was a cool segue into what I brought to the table for a drink this week. But unfortunately, all I have is black cherry lemonade, but I'm still hoping it's good. Dan, you know what Natty Light is, right?
I do know what a Natty Light is.
Okay, cool. You remember Natter Days, Jackson's like beer of the week, a couple years ago? Well, they made that into a vodka, and I've tried the strawberry lemonade flavor, which is the Natter Days reminiscent one, and you know what? It's okay. Yeah. It's not bad. I've had better. I've had worse. It's a good flavored vodka, right? But there were 3 flavors. There's the Natter Days one. There's Natty Plain, which is just a lemonade vodka. And then here we have a black cherry lemonade. And you know what? I like black cherry, so I'm going to give it a try. Just gonna like drink half.
Is
of it
this
now
is your
'cause I
first?
promised Nina
Is
the
this
other
your
half.
live reaction?
This is my live reaction. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know. It's like every time I have a flavored vodka, I'm both like very pleasantly happy that that it's not
Terrible.
nasty,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also like, oh yeah, that's just kind of like it's a pre-mixed cocktail.
Yeah.
But it's like 80 proof.
Yeah, I mean
You
that's
know.
exactly what it is. It's a very strong premixed cocktail. That is what most flavored vodkas are. I've actually been
Oh, this
drinking.
is just I'm sorry, this is 60 proof. My mistake.
Oh, excuse me.
I don't want to lie to the people.
Have you ever had? Since we're talking about flavored vodkas, oh, sorry, I don't want to pull you away. Did you?
No, I got nothing to say. It's
Okay.
honestly, it's a good black cherry flavor. The
Okay.
lemonade, it's like it feels like it's lemonade first, then black
Then
cherry,
black cherry and then
and
vodka. Yeah,
which is, in my opinion,
that's how you should do it.
the
100%.
order that it should be in. I don't want to
Agreed.
have vodka first in my flavored vodka.
Absolutely not.
If you can avoid the vodka, that's like ideal in a flavor. But
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know,
Otherwise, why are you bothering with the flavor and not just having
Exactly.
vodka and lemon?
yeah, no, it's definitely you pick lemonade up on your nose immediately.
Mhm.
When I had a full mouthful, it was very black cherry forward. Just now I poured a tiny bit on my tongue to try and get like the vibes back, and it was just lemonade with like a slight dusting of cherry.
I
The
like
vodka is
dusting
very
cherry.
backseat, which
Good.
is pretty dope.
That's how it should be.
I've had it warm, I've had it cold. You taste the alcohol a lot less when it's cold. I don't know. All in all, thumbs up for Natty Light's vodka. But like, why? You know? I just
so
wanna know.
I don't know why all of our drinks this evening are lemon or lemonade flavored, right?
Oh hell yeah! I love lemonade.
I have
dude.
I have two,
This
I
is-
have
this is the
I
time.
have I have an alcoholic lemon drink to talk about and a non-alcoholic lemonade drink to talk about. I have so
Oh,
many
hell
drinks.
yeah.
I've been drinking so much. I've been out for 2 weeks. I've been doing a lot of drinking. It's been you know it's been. First, Monster dropped a new lemonade in their juice lineup, which I'm gonna come out and say it. Juice monsters are the best monsters. Don't at me.
You know, I would try and argue, but like, do they even make the rehabs anymore?
They do. Yeah. Rehab is good. I like Rehab. There is absolutely nothing wrong with Rehab. I also really like
They
Monster.
rebranded. These are new colors. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's the same flavors, but they're bright new colors. That's
Mhm.
neat. That makes more sense to have the can a different color than have a black can with the claw marks be colored.
I really like the well, speaking of black cans with the claw
But you
mark
lose
cover-
the texture. Oh, never mind. I'm
Exactly.
very against this. Fuck you.
I really like
Fuck you, monster.
I also really like Hydro a lot. I really like Monster Hydro.
They're very easy to drink.
They're so
They're
easy to drink.
incredibly easy to drink.
Yeah, they
I mean, so are
just-
anything that's not carbonated, that's an energy drink, is
Mm-hmm.
dangerous as all hell because it's so easy to drink.
Well, that's where I'm putting.
You can knock those back in no time.
That's why.
And that's
part
what
of
the
reason-
juices are too,
That's
right?
what the juices are. Yeah. Although I do think they have a little
Mhm.
carbonation, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but it's like a normal carbonation, not like a soda carbonation.
Not a
It's
offensive
just like
carbonation.
more like a beer,
Mm-hmm.
a light beer,
Um,
not like a heavy, like fizzy beer. Not like a Pepsi or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
mellow.
No, I see you. So they dropped a new juice that is, and I quote, Aussie lemonade, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. It's really fucking good. Like, it just tastes like fucking lemonade.
Ooh, look at that. That's a pretty can.
It's a very pretty can, and I do really enjoy the style text on it. Or not style text. What do you call the text on the back of a can? Blurb?
I don't know.
Whatever. It's very dumb. It's just very silly. It's Monster's twist on a classic lemonade. We hit the ideal balance of tart and sweet with a burst of fresh citrus flavor. As always, it's chockers with our world famous Monster Energy blend. Crack a coldie and give it a go, which is the
I
funniest.
hate that so much, but that's
So
also
dumb.
really great.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
I'm sorry. I just found a fucking cursed YouTube channel by accident
Okay.
because I was looking up Monster Aussie Lemonade, and like one of the image results is this like 40-year-old looking man excitedly pointing at a can.
Oh
So
no.
I click on it, right? Because of course I am.
Oh
And
no.
this is Caffeine Man.
Oh no. I see this.
Click on
Oh,
the video, Dan. Do
oh,
yourself
no.
a favor and just look at his collection of cans in the background.
Oh no. I've had most of those.
hey everyone, Caffeine Man here. That man
C4 sucks, by the way. C4 is an energy drink.
doesn't need to drink this much.
2-second review of his wall of energy drinks. C4 is a terrible energy drink and no one should ever drink it. Calcium is really good. Or not calcium. Not calcium. What is it fucking called? It's on his back wall. Celsius. Celsius is really fucking good. We have those at work now and they're amazing. Boom is fine. I drank Rain for a while. It's good, but it's not my favorite. Monster's good. Bang is hit or miss. Nos is all pretty much good across the board. Rockstar is hit and miss. I don't know what those ones are in the bottom middle.
The fact that Rockstar's default flavor is bubblegum is insane to me.
That's what that's supposed to be?
Something, I don't know if it's what it's supposed to be, but you can't tell me it's not what it is.
I could not tell. I haven't had regular Rockstar in a while. I usually drink their some of their other ones.
I used to be a big fan of their they had like a strawberry cream and like an orange cream.
The strawberry. Wait, I remember the strawberry cream. Strawberry one is good. Yeah.
But I got turned off of those forever. Firstly, when I saw one poured out and it was cream white colored too. And I'm like, oh, I was okay with tasting the cream flavor kinda, but like now that I see this is bad. But then I mixed vodka and Monster Rehab and it made it taste creamy. And it was a very bad night for me.
Okay, that sounds cursed as all hell, I gotta be honest.
No, it was so bad. It was so bad. I got so drunk so quickly and I was like, no, I need to go home. This is a problem. And I had poured the vodka into my can rather than mix it elsewhere. So like I couldn't even obviously drinking more energy drink would not have helped me power through the drunk to being sober. But that's what like drunk mind thinks you would do.
Yeah.
So I ended up just sitting there for like an hour until I felt like good again. And I'm like, holy shit, this was miserable. I hate this so much. Anyway, yeah, Caffeine Man, give him a check.
Please don't. I feel like this man needs an intervention. Like I have problems with caffeine. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I don't. I've been very upfront about my struggles, but Jesus Christ.
No, see, I'm watching this man drink, and he looks like a sommelier.
Oh, that's so much worse.
No, it makes me wonder if let me check his about tab or something like that. See if there's like any information on this man. Let's see. Caffeine Man discusses all things caffeine related with a mix of informative caffeine videos and caffeinated product reviews. Want to know how much caffeine is in your favorite energy drink? How much caffeine is in tea? Caffeine Man has all those answers. This channel tends to focus on energy drinks, but I do try to get other caffeinated products reviewed, as well as informative caffeine videos. Honestly, that's kind of neat. When it all comes down to it, I just want to keep people informed on caffeine safety and all things caffeine related. So there's actually no information about anything. Oh, he has a C4 partnership.
Ah, there it is.
Damn, no wonder they had such a prominent place. Yeah, so I was gonna guess that this guy was like a guy who just shifted from like the professional circuit to the YouTube circuit, you know? But it just kind of seems like maybe he's a health guy that likes to look out for stuff like this, which I can respect that too.
I'm kind of here for that. I take it back.
No standing of the channel until like I actually have seen more than like 5 seconds of one video, but still. He seems like a neat guy who's like trying to inform people. I appreciate the fact that he's not just shilling caffeine and he's also trying to educate and make sure people don't drink too much. And it's not like he shotgunned this can. He poured out a cup and took like a few sips. So that's not too bad.
Yeah. I mean, that is important, to be honest.
Huh. Look at us, Dan. Look at us. We're out here. We're rolling. We're talking about lemonades. We found a new YouTube channel.
Fuck, that was the other thing.
What a day.
Deep Eddy.
Oh.
Have you ever had Deep Eddies?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Deep Eddies.
My friend used to work there. It's a great place.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
But I definitely do tell people
it does sound like a strip club, so I didn't know if that was the bit you were going for.
No. Jackson toured the distillery, so anytime people are asking about vodka at work, I tell them that my friend used to work there.
That's very funny. Yeah, it's good. I haven't had it before. It's solid.
Think, honestly, Deep Eddy is my favorite vodka, period.
Ooh, that's a bold claim.
I will tell people 10 times out of 10 it's better than Tito's.
That is a very bold. I don't. Okay, I should.
Tito's is good. I'm not going to.
I've only had their lemon vodka, so I don't want to have a take on it. I don't think it's fair.
That's fair. I think that's incredibly fair to do.
'Cause
I will say
my
I
gut is to
respect the hell
disagree
out of the fact
very
that
strongly.
Tito's just makes straight plain vodka. I
Mhm.
respect that.
Mhm.
But and their vodka's good.
Yeah.
As far as like vodkas go.
You just prefer Deep Eddy.
But I think Deep Eddy's better.
I think it's valid. I really like. I've been drinking their lemon vodka. We also have their cranberry and sweet tea. I think I don't like sweet tea, so I haven't
nice.
drank that one. The cranberry one's real good though. I've been having that in Moscow meals lately. Ooh,
They also have
Ooh.
like a grapefruit, lime, lemon, and straight are the ones that I've seen.
there's also a peach.
Peach. Ooh, that's nice.
Mhm.
I don't like peach flavored things, but the idea of it, like the idea of peach flavored things is like, ooh, that's neat. And then I try them and they tend to taste like peach rings. And I'm like, oh, I fucking hate this. But yeah, here we are.
That's fair. I've been having Deep Eddy's lemon vodka. It's good. It's been drinking it both mixed with lemonade and like just straight on the rocks with like a splash of like Sprite. It's great. Both straight then both straight on the rocks and space. Yeah, whatever, you get what I mean. Anyway, yeah, it's good. There's drinks, lots of drinks.
There you go.
That was the last drink I had to talk about. Do you have any more drinks to talk about, Noah? Otherwise, I do have other things to talk about.
I have some crystal clear water in my bottle because I cleaned my water filter recently and I cleaned my bottle also. So like it's a good day for
How often?
clean
The way you
water.
say that feels like I should be proud of you, and I feel like that's a thing you should normally do.
No, I mean like it's one of those things where like my bottle I clean like once every week or two and the filter I clean like once every month or so, you know? But you never like I don't usually have them sync up together and this time they did and you know how like you get used to something and you don't realize it doesn't actually taste like good, it just tastes fine. And then suddenly I cleaned both the bottle and the filter at the same time and it's such good water now. And I didn't even realize it wasn't good before, you know what I mean? Or are you just concerned now?
I am so deeply concerned, my friend.
Man, it's just a thing that happens sometimes. Don't worry about it, okay? Like
I wash
I'm
my
not
water
cleaning
bottles
out my water filter
obsessively.
every. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I
No,
tend to
how
not
often do you
put
clean
my
your water
mouth in the
bottle?
I don't know, man. Like once every week or two.
Oh no.
Dan, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're not here to judge my water bottle cleaning habits.
Oh,
I was just talking about how
no.
I was excited for fresh, clean water filter water.
Oh no. I'm glad that your water is clean and filtered.
This literally was supposed to be a one-off comment. It wasn't even supposed to turn into a thing. Dan, tell me about Star Wars 5e, because I'm assuming that that's what SW
Yeah, it does.
SW 5e means. Star Wars is coming to D&D 5e.
Well, here's the thing, you guys. I've long held in this show. Long held in this show, and I stand by it, actually. I've long held in this show that if you're going to play a game that's not D&D, play it in a system that is built for it, that, right? Like, D&D is designed for a purpose, etc., etc.
Yeah, okay.
So it brings me a lot of, like, weird feelings to have found what is, I hesitate to call it a 5e hack, right? Because there are plenty of 3.5 hacks and 5e hacks. It's almost closer to using 5e like the SRD, like the old 3.5 SRD, where it is a D20 role-playing game with like the same base stats as 5e. And you can almost draw some parallels between some of the classes, but it is such a rebuild from the ground up to make it a functional game that I really hesitate to call it the same game. But I feel weird about it. I feel really weird about it, but not weird enough to not talk about it. So let me talk about Star Wars 5e.
Do tell.
To call it an overhaul is truly not enough. Like I really can't express to you how much like I have played 3.5 like games that were published in the real world and made money that were not as different as Star Wars 5e is from 5e, but it is still the same base like system and mechanics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Core. I mean, obviously, it would be harder to explain what's not different. There are a bajillion species. First of all, it's all free. You can find it all online. SW5e.com, top to bottom. Every book that's out, air quotes out for it right now, is online. It has. Let me just roll over to their species tab. The wiki page is actually really well put together and very, very searchable across the board. Everything from characters to species to archetypes, which is essentially what the subclasses are rebranded to tech powers to force powers, which is how they're doing spellcasting.
The art covers for these books are
really well done, right? Now,
this is very D&D.
Oh, it's very D&D, but it's also very much like a full build from the ground up to be not just I slapped Star Wars skin on 5e. There are
I respect that.
For context, for like as far as like, oh, so D&D 5e has what, like 10 races, 15 races, something now? We'll call it 20 and be like really generous with it, right? I know it's not that many, but core races has like 15. There are 131 races.
Do you say 131?
I did. I said 131. And not everyone is going to be exactly different, but most of them have at least one unique thing about them. The context for the reason that I'm bringing this up is I'm joining a Star Wars 5e game. I've been brought in on this, so that's why I've been reading this obsessively the last like 2 weeks. Everything from there are three different classes of droids because 5 different classes of droids.
I was gonna say it looks like 5 to me
because the game understands that like there are different types of droids in Star Wars that are used for different things.
I like how it goes like droid class 1, and I'm like, oh cool, medical droids, 2 limbs, normal, that's neat. Droid class 2, oh, an R2D2 type, okay, that's cool. Class 3, oh, 4-LOM, okay, I get it. Probably like protocol droids and stuff like that, but also fighting. Class 4, all your fighting robots, all the guys that be punching things, and I'm like, oh shit, how can it get better from here? And then class 5 is one of these dumbass little wheelie bottom boys, and it's like, oh, yeah. Okay.
They are
robot.
Yeah, they're shitbots. They are barely sentient. So tons of droid species that you can play as, everything from humans to Claudites to creatures that only appeared in fucking the TV show to creatures that only appeared out of the TV show and in old comics. Everything from did you watch Clone Wars? You never watched Clone Wars, right? We've talked about this.
No, not really. Yeah.
There is everything from a single character who appears one time, like as one character in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, has a race in this. It's ridiculous. It's truly ridiculous the amount of content that this has. For classes, there are 10 base classes. Berserker, which is exactly what it sounds like. Consular, which is a force power based caster. Engineer, which is a tech based caster. Fighter, which is it's a fighter. Guardian, which is a force wielder that uses swords, kind of like it would be somewhere in the realm of like a magus or a blade based sorcerer you could do, or blade based not sorcerer, warlock. Monks, which are monks because every game has to have a monk. Operatives, which is a rogue. Scholars, which are weird. Scholars are weird. It's really interesting. So scholars are weird. I'm gonna come back to scholars.
What a non D&D person might think a monk would be is what I'm flipping through.
For monks, yes.
No, for scholar.
For scholars, that
what
not wrong.
What someone who's not familiar with the system. If you're looking at a real
like
world
if you're thinking
monk,
of a regular like a Friar Tuck kind of monk, yeah. Kind of
masters of the mundane.
I want to come back to scholar because that's what I'm playing, and I think it's really some of the things they can do are really interesting.
Okay.
And then so Scout, which is essentially a ranger, but also has some minor tech casting, and then Sentinel, who is I guess Guardian is probably a paladin, is what the parallel is supposed to be. So Sentinel is probably I don't know. Guardian and Sentinel, I'm not clear on the distinction between the two. They're both melee fighters who also have force powers, basically. Now,
I feel like one of them has to just be oh, never mind. We do have regular fighter. I'm so stupid.
What's interesting
maybe
is
it's
the
just,
way what's interesting to me out the gate is the way that it separates out force powers and tech powers as two completely different mechanics types. Almost not even to the way that like, oh, there's arcane and religious casting, right? Or arcane and divine casting. They are completely different. Super interesting, and it means that you can do some really cool things as far as like you can have a class that all they do is force powers. That's it. You can have a class that all they do is tech powers. That's it. And neither feel like they're going to interact with each other in any way, but also feel like you could pick up other powers from other places and be fine, right? Huge fan of it. I think it's really interesting. I think it's really unique. I want to come back to Scholar because that's what I'm playing and that's what I know the best because I've been poring over the archetypes for this class because it's really
quick,
weird. Please.
I really appreciate all the character art that they put into this site. I really do recommend some people and if you're interested in this at all, check out the website because they did a good job of. I firstly really hope they're not just stealing art assets for this. I really hope they actually are going about this the right way.
Some of them I know are stolen out of comic books. which I don't love.
So we're on
And
some
some of them I
shaky
know,
ground here.
and some of them I know are stolen from TV shows, like their TV show models.
And there's
which
some are dead on clips from movies.
exactly, which I would argue that those are or promo materials. I've seen a lot of promo material art, and so it really, I don't want to make any claims
As
about
long
the
as
art.
you're not stealing from private art, if you're taking from the canon assets that already exist, I'm not worried about it as much.
Yeah, that's where I kind of land on as well.
As long as someone's like OC Star Wars character is not here vibing as a
representative for a
model.
species. Yeah, exactly.
But what I really like is how they made sure to pick a bunch of different people that are they're not just your stereotypical like what we've seen in the movie vision of everybody. Like I'm glad Jackson isn't here because he would make fun of me real hard for like knowing all this stuff. I like the Weequay not looking like a bunch of Jabba thugs. I like how they actually just have them dressed up like normal fucking people.
I mean, to be fair, those are specific characters from the TV show. To be clear,
I don't give a shit. That's fine.
that's fine.
I like how the Trandoshan is still dressed up like Bosk. And he's just like he's here to break heads, and that's about it. It's about what I expect from the orc stand-in.
Exactly.
And then, you got the Trandoshan and the Wookiee, they're both orc stand-ins, class-wise, basically. But, and then we have, like, it's just a good selection of characters that are not just exactly rips of, like, what they are in the movies.
What's
the
neat...
Bith, who's, y'all may recognize them as the Jizz Band musicians.
That's correct.
He's not just sitting there honking on a flugel or whatever he plays. I
hate the words you're saying right now, I gotta say.
Thanks. He's here in normal clothes. It's nice to see that they decided to move away from just all the images that you get in the movies to try and give you ideas of how to expand.
Yeah. Well, and it's really interesting also, again, like just how ridiculously much, like you can play as a Hutt, like a young adolescent Hutt that can still like move around. He isn't just a fat slug.
Wild.
Yeah. Very cool. I truly think it's worth like checking out just the site and seeing how it's laid out and seeing some of the stuff. They have a really cool starship mechanic that's really neat. That's like, I'm torn a bit on the starship mechanic. I'll come back to that as well. Okay. Obviously, it lays out armor, weapons, adventuring gear, etc. Force powers. It has feats. It has things that you would expect from 5e. Archetypes, which are your subclasses. It has background bonuses. It has feats. It has others like all sorts of customization options, etc. Multi-classes, the whole thing. I'm going to focus on Scholar because, again, that's what I know. Scholar is essentially it is a skill monkey class. That is their design. But it's skill monkey and buffs, which is interesting. So kind of a bard, but definitely not a one-to-one bard comparison. Bard is about as close as I could get. That would be like if I were going to say, hey, this is a parallel to a 5e, it's a bard. But they're int-based instead of charisma-based, depending on how you do it. And the archetype, the academic pursuits / archetypes, basically completely change the class every single time that you see one. It has the color has this ability where it can mark something as almost like a ranger would do for a hunted target or whatever the mechanic is called. I'm blanking on the name of it. And it gives it bonuses to that and gives like disadvantages and whatnot, whatever. But it also, each of its abilities kind of mess with that in different ways. Explorer makes it so that instead of having a single target, you target an area, a 15 by 15 areas, and everyone inside of that is counted as a target of your critical analysis. Occultist and Slicer, or Occultist Pursuit gives you a single level 1 force power. That can get upgraded and moved around a little bit later on. Doctors lets you just heal your allies at range. I think it's Detective that gives you an extra massive range boost. No, not Detective. Tactician gives you a massive range boost. So instead of being at like 30 or 60 feet, it's at 90 feet. You can interact with these things with your special ability. There's a ton of like maneuvers that you get over time that are each unique and like you can swap them around, and they're everything from you can recall anything you've read in the past month that you understand to like, hey, you can use intelligence as your role like as the role you use for every attack, for everything that's dex based, basically. Like I'm building my scholar out as a sniper class, as like a sniper-esque, or at least a marksman, because I have a thing where as long as I can critical target a creature, I get all of my bonuses turn into int bonuses. And so I, like Sherlock Holmes in the movies style, like see the code and figure out the best possible solution. We've got a droidica who's like a modded droidica as like one of our other players. We've got two different Jedi or Force users. One is a gray Jedi and one is question marks right now. It really interesting. The fact that it separates out and it has like casting requirements. So like tech casters have to have a wrist pad essentially, which would be a casting focus. In anything else, there's an archetype for one of the, I think it's a Sentinel, where the entire thing becomes based around using the Force to move your lightsaber around.
I love that.
And to the point where like I think at like 16th level, you can have up to 4 lightsabers around at one time that you're just Force controlling instead of holding, which is incredibly 17. Sorry.
What a clown. You don't even know what you're talking about.
You can have up to 4 and they can all do individual attacks on enemies at one time, up to, I don't remember what the range is, 30 feet, I think.
This is so neat.
It's so fucking neat. And it's such a really well done system. And I'm angry because of how hard I've pushed on do something else with your D&D. But the only way I'm justifying that to myself at this point is that I would argue this isn't D&D anymore. Like it is, but it definitely is not.
Listen, I will agree with that though, because like the basics of it's here, but it's, if you were to say this is the same as D&D, you can all obviously their branding is all based around D&D 5e.
Of course.
However, you could also make the same argument at Pathfinder, like, oh, shut up and just do something different than D&D.
Mm-hmm.
But it is different enough that it gets to stand on its own in like a decent way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
So
and I would point to a lot of
argue that I think this stands on its own in a pretty heavy way as well.
and the fact that it's all free is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's rare that this sort of thing would be all free. I want to talk about the starships real quick and then we can move on.
Tight.
The starship mechanic,
neat, though. I would
100% play it, right?
Realistically, I'm never gonna play it.
No, of
just
course.
because it's such a difference.
Mm-hmm.
But
and you'd have
neat.
to have someone to run it is the problem. As with all D&D based games, it's a matter of finding someone to run it. But no, if anyone sees this and is like, hey, this looks really cool, I want to run this, let me know. I will play it. And I will play it again. I will just play something else. It's fine. I want to talk about starships. When you think of a Star Wars, Noah, what is the most important thing that you can be able to do with a ship?
Smuggle things.
Okay, I'll back that.
Shoot things.
Those are both
Shoot
true.
things and smuggle things.
Shoot and smuggle. Dude, have I got good news for you? You
Holy
can do
shit.
all that and
Can
more.
More, Dan, please. What else is there to do?
For me personally, my big thing is I want to be able to customize it. Right? I want if I'm gonna be in a starship,
that's a good point. One.
I want to be able to make it exactly my own, because I think a lot of Star Wars leans on that really heavily. If there is a ship that is a person's ship, it is their ship. It's been modified. Luke's X-wing is modified. The Ebon Hawk is modified. The Millennium Falcon is modified. Like it, being able to make it custom and make it your own is very important. And I think this does it really well. It has an actual metric fuckload of modifications, 207 to be exact.
Oh hell yeah!
Each with different like requirements and grades and prerequisites and stuff. Almost like building out a feat tree, but just for a ship. Now, the thing that I want to lean on is something called the deployment system. The deployment system I'm still torn on how I feel about it. I'll come back to why. It is a completely separated system from the base game. You have your same stats, whatever, but you can be the pilot and not have any basis in decks, really. Like that, you can be the pilot and not need to be like, oh, I'm a tech focused person.
Mm-hmm.
It has 6 classes. They're called deployments: coordinator, gunner, mechanic, operator, pilot, and technician. And it's a really cool way to be able to spread your party out within a ship in the way a Star Wars would do, and still let each of them have things to be doing. Coordinator is essentially gives buffs to different areas and kind of basically does collaborations. Their whole thing is, hey, I'm gonna burn power dice to make other people better. Gunners is a gunner. They do exactly what they sound like. mechanic, it controls energy production. So like the ship has energy systems that you can interact with that, and you have to boost energy and move energy around the ship depending on what you want things to do. Divert power to engines, you get extra engine speed. Divert power to shields, you get power to shields. Divert power to weapons, you get power to weapons, etc. Operator, which is essentially scanning and like disrupting.
Real quick, they really did hold on to that one time Han shouted out, divert power to shields. Or
Star Wars has been
divert
doing that
power
for a
to
while.
hyperdrive. Yeah, I know, but they really like latched on to like, I like that. I like that. Let's do that.
Squadrons is a similar thing. I've not talked to you about Squadrons in a hot minute. Squadrons is a really cool thing where you could do that as well, where you actually manually have to flip power around in your ship based on what you want it to do best. It's very cool. It's a very cool mechanic in Squadrons. It's actually my favorite thing about the game, besides it being a Star Wars space game. Pilot, which is a pilot, and then Technician, which is kind of, it's defense based, and like so mechanic is energy production and like buffing certain things, whereas Technician is essentially keeping the whole thing running, is how I kind of understand it. It's just really, and these each have like 6 levels, I think 5 levels. Each one has 5 ranks or levels, and as you get better at doing ship shit, you get better at running, at like managing your party via the ship. And you can obviously multi-class into these. So like these are not like, these are where you're deploying in a fight and that's how you get XP on it, not necessarily, oh, I can only do this.
Right.
Which I think is very cool and very important. And they all kind of interact with each other in different ways. Like gunners can get bonuses on damage, but can also get things like different gunning styles and things like doing different like, oh, I'm going to give my allies an opening kind of thing, to the point where you can actually you absolutely could play this game in a way that makes it so you are, rather than flying in a single ship, flying in a number of like smaller fighters, which is extremely fucking cool.
I feel like there's a lot of potential here. I love that you can buy a ship that's so fucking massive that like it's just a super Star Destroyer is what you're buying.
Hell yeah, you can.
And I like the idea of getting to the point where you're running a Star Wars campaign where you're like, you actually have to think, are we the baddies for a hot second, as you
100%.
But like you get to have a large scale battle where like maybe your DM lets you command a squadron of fighters rather than an individual thing. It's like, all right, here's your stuff. You got your big boat in space, have fun, and then you do a big old battle. That sounds cool.
Yeah, right? And each so like your ship also gains improvements, right? Your ship also has a tier that it progresses through, which is very cool. Yeah, it's just really neat. It's just a very cool, like, you can do different specs. You can do like, it's very cool. It's very, very cool. I think it's a really neat thing. The only thing I have a hesitance on it is that I almost wish it wasn't so separated from the base game, like from the base like adventure stuff. That like on one hand I really like it because it means that, oh hi, I can be playing a scholar, but also I happen to be a good pilot. Like that could be, you know what I mean? Like they don't have to be separated, and I really like that a lot. And yeah, it's just cool. It's just very cool. Yeah. So yeah, there it is. Yeah, each ship has a number of different deployments determined by its size and class, and a character can fill multiple roles simultaneously. So like you can absolutely be, if you are a TIE fighter, you are the pilot and gunner and mechanic and technician and operator and coordinator at once.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just neat. It's just neat. It's just, I just think it's neat, and I was very impressed by it to the point where I was willing to go back on some of my anti D&D based gameplay stuff.
You know, Dan, it takes a big man to admit that he's wrong.
No, listen, dude. If every 5e hack was this, I would never complain about people playing air quotes D&D, or I would complain about people playing air quotes D&D a lot less, at least. I won't say never. But yeah, I don't know. 5e, Star Wars 5e, very cool. Very impressed.
Neat. That's sick. I like it.
It's super sick. It's super, super sick.
Now, Dan, you've talked a lot today, and I'm going to interject with something I want to say. Elden Ring is out right now.
It is. It is the 49th most
And
popular game of all time on Metacritic.
that's cool as hell, firstly. What's the first most popular game?
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it makes sense. Those fucking nostalgia assholes.
Yeah, I'm not going to agree with it, to be honest with you. I that game was made in 98. Calm down.
It's good. I'm not going to pretend it's not good. I love the game a lot.
Of course.
However, it's not the be all and end all. And okay, I'm gonna go off on this for a hot second here. I think it's important that it maintains a higher ranking than maybe it deserves because it should be taken into account the fact that it actually has contributed a great deal
Mhm.
to the landscape, right?
Yeah.
It definitely deserves a high rank.
Oh, I'm sorry. Elden Ring has
However-
been updated to I was misreading. The 49th place for Elden Ring is specifically on the PC. It is the 14th most popular game of all time, considering the PlayStation 5 version.
Oh, nice. I think it's important. It's the same thing as old bands that people like too much. Some of them, like the Beatles, are a great example. I am not that into the Beatles anymore. I used to like the Beatles a lot. However, modern music has stuff that the Beatles could never have dreamed of doing. But, huge but, a lot of stuff is built on the backs of like some of the stuff they helped lay down, right? So many people are influenced by that. Same thing with Ocarina of Time. So many people who made a fucking little travel around puzzle RPG game are like influenced by Ocarina. So I'm not gonna say that it's like super overrated because it deserves a spot of recognition for what it's done. But I think we can all agree that Ocarina of Time is an 8.5 out of 10 game, not a 10 out of 10 game. And that's not bad. That's not bad. It's a fucking ancient game, and I think it ranks a solid 8.5, personally. Like, I just don't think it deserves to be at the top of the list all the time, you know?
I think this kind of goes back to an argument that I made many, many years ago where I don't know that there's such thing as like a perfect movie.
No, there's definitely not, because no matter what happens, even if it's perfect now, it'll get one-upped by something standing on its shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
honestly, as it
could
should
that
be.
have gotten higher without it? No. You know? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
things are great because of the building blocks that have been laid down by other things, but also sometimes we can be a little objective as a treat. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Elden Ring and the fact
Can
that I don't have it, okay?
Before
I don't
we
have
swing
it.
into Elden Ring, I just want to like real quick go down the top 15 just to get up to Elden Ring and see where we're like
Oh yeah,
ranking.
fire away.
Ocarina of Time on the N64 is number 1. Number 2 is Tony Hawk
Makes
Pro
sense.
Skater 2, specifically for the original PlayStation. Number
Okay,
3
okay.
is Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PlayStation 3.
That's
Number
a
4
weird choice, but okay.
Right. Number 4 is Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast. Number 5 is Grand Theft
Okay.
Auto 4 for the Xbox 360.
That's fucking dumb as hell.
Number 6 is Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii. Number 7 is Super Mario
Okay.
Galaxy 2, also for the Wii.
That's,
Number 8 is RDR2 for the Xbox One.
okay.
Number 9 and 10 are both Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 3, respectively.
Man,
Number
they
11
need
is
they need
Disco
to collect
Elysium.
these things. I respect that.
I respect that a lot, considering it's an indie game.
I'm impressed.
I'm super impressed. I did not know it was that
I
well,
keep
highly.
meaning to pick that up.
It's so good.
Like,
I keep
I've
going
heard
into it and I
nothing
dump
but
a number of hours
amazing
into it, then
things.
I fucking pass along because I just get tired and I forget to go back to it. I haven't played it since July, but I've got like 30 or 40 hours into it. On 2 runs. Grand Theft Auto
Nice.
number 12 is Grand Theft Auto 5 for the Xbox 360.
Mhm.
Number 13 is also Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on the Dreamcast. Number 14 is Elden Ring on the PlayStation 5 specifically. Number 15 is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch. So that's where we're coming in when we start talking about Elden Ring, just to kind of give some background.
Yes. So wild, firstly, that a game that is this new is already up there.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed. Insane.
And I'm not a good Souls gamer. I'm gonna put that right out there right now. I've never been a good Souls gamer, but I love the Souls games. I think their aesthetic is fucking cool. I think the lore is batshit insane. Bloodborne, what the fuck is happening in Bloodborne? So cool. I love it. I don't need to be good at the games to appreciate them. And that is squarely where I'm landing on Elden Ring right now. I have watched so many people play this game and it looks so good. It's a weird choice to talk about this game when neither of us have played it, right?
Yeah, of course.
But like that's why we put it at the end of the episode. It makes it legal. Um, I I don't know, man. I'm so excited to see a new Souls game come out and be taken so well. Like people love it. People love it.
People are loving it. Yeah, a lot actually.
And I'm so happy to see a game that like firstly, no one can tell me that Dark Souls doesn't have one of the most toxic fan bases of like gamers on the internet. You know, the Get Good crowd has probably directly contributed to the fact that the games in general have not taken off in a huge way, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
But it's nice that like for example, bad example because I wasn't watching any trailers or anything. Had no idea Elden Ring was a FromSoft game
Oh,
until
really?
Jackson brought it up a few weeks ago.
I knew it was FromSoft. I just didn't realize the style of game it was when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it. Not to disrespect it when I say just another Soulsborne, but like I didn't know it was just
absolutely.
another Soulsborne, you know?
Yeah.
And watching people go through it and hearing everyone talk about how it's just, oh, it really just feels like FromSoft learned what worked in every game they've put out and distilled it down into Elden Ring and they added jumping. What a cool thing. I'm so happy seeing everyone talk about it, see everyone play it, and I decided to scratch that itch. I'm going to be playing Dark Souls 2
Oh yeah, dude.
because Dark Souls 2 has a cap on how many times enemies respawn. This is big brain moments here. That means if you kill an enemy 12 times, so you kill him, go back to the bonfire, kill him, go back to the bonfire over and over and over and over and over. They will not respawn anymore until you hit New Game Plus. Jackson has done this before. He called it the Dark Souls 2 slow run. And I really sincerely believe that this is going to be a very good time for me once I actually get used to the game. It's going to take
I
a
can
hot
imagine
second. I finally got a controller so that I'm not going to be just trying to vibe out here and, you know, do it on mouse and keyboard because holy shit, dude, that was a mess. That sucked. The first time I
I
played it, how much time did I put into Dark Souls 2? I put in, oh shit. Dan, I put in 43 hours into Dark Souls. No, let's say 45 hours because I did not play that much today. I played a little bit today just to like try and get back into it. I played 45 hours of fucking Dark Souls 2. Do you want to know when I learned you could lock on to enemies and focus them?
Was it 30 hours?
No.
Was
Do
it
you want to
today?
guess again? Oh, it wasn't today, but it was like after I stopped playing. I'm sitting here with bows being like, wow, wild how I can't hit anyone with archery. That must just be the Dark Souls, like, it's hard, so you gotta get
Experience.
good
That's the Dark
thing.
Souls
Okay.
experience.
And then I'm having issues with magic, and I'm like, oh man, it's so hard to use magic. Oh well, that's the Dark Souls experience. Now, for anyone who's about to be mad at me, firstly, hey, shut up. Secondly, I understand that there was a little training thing that said press this button to lock on to enemies. Okay, here's the thing. Last time I played this was on release date. When did Dark Souls 2 release, actually? Because I pre-ordered Dark Souls 2. Yeah, I played it March of 2014. That was the last time I played it. I was not in a great headspace then. I was working so much. I was not getting enough sleep, and I was at the beginning of my caffeine issues at Chick-fil-A. So like my comprehension skills were in the toilet, and I didn't know anything was happening. So it told me what button to press, but I was having issues figuring out how to access menus in Dark Souls because, you know, there's no pause menu. It's a live menu. And I never thought to go back to the hub city that's safe to try and manage my menu. Which is, you know, yeah, I'll admit it. That was stupid of me. Whatever.
No, I don't think it's stupid.
But you can rebind keys there, but I never did. So the lock-on key was so out of the way from like regular key bindings, if memory serves, if I even remembered how to find it. It was so out of the way that I never used it, and then I forgot it existed like 10 minutes after I got past the little signpost telling me to use it, and I
Oof.
never locked on. I killed so many bosses. I did so much. Like I'm looking at my achievements. I killed some decent bosses in this game.
Yeah, you made
Like,
progress.
yeah. I got the last giant. I beat the sinner. I got the fire down in the Black Gulch. You know, like I did a lot of stuff, but man, what the fuck was I doing? You know?
Making mistakes, frankly. Like,
Yeah, no, and that was enough to turn me off the game like entirely for a little while because I'm like, man, this game is so hard. Like, get good, yeah, whatever, but man, I can't play this game. Then I learned you can fucking lock on, and I felt so dumb.
honestly amazing.
I stayed in like the Reddit communities. That was like something that I really loved. I love seeing people's outfits. I love seeing people talk about the bosses. I love seeing lore info. The Dark Souls universe and Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, all that stuff is so interesting and fun and cool. And I think it's great that the stuff is like, hey, congratulations. As much information as you give a shit about learning is how much you'll learn.
Yeah.
And that's like, and that's it.
I think
That's
how-
great.
To be honest, I feel like that's how most lore should be in games. Like, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that that's not how it works. Like, I get that. And sometimes you do need some pieces of lore to get there. But, like, truly, like, there's nothing worse than being lore dumped on.
Mm-hmm. Lore dump, no fun. I think Doom did a great job of it where you can just like kind of literally smash your way through like lore exposition and be like, no, thank you. I don't want to have this actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice. It's nice to have the option of ignoring it because honestly, I feel like it does play into the character, right? Like, now, hear me out. Hear me out. This is big brain moment here. This is
No,
coming
please.
to me at the late hours of 12:30 in the morning.
Yes.
I feel like because there's no tracking system of anything that you've done, you just have to remember where you've been and all that. And
Yes.
it ends up just turning into a slog of, well, it's time to go get a boss. Oh, am I collecting rings to fight Yargum Bargum, the bargain man? I guess. I don't know. Eventually you hit this point where you're just kind of traveling the land, killing everything you see. And it's like, oh, cool. I'm just another monster now. I'm just another guy that some hero is going to come along and get. And I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's neat. Bloodborne
Yeah.
tackled like the concept of it a little bit better, but I think especially the way that I used to play the game where I was like no brain, I don't know how to play. I'm just trying so hard. Man, I say this like it was so long ago. I guess I was 20.
Yes, in the before
I was
times.
still a baby. 19, 20, something in that ballpark. But like, still, I don't know. I think it's neat how I put myself in this mindset of like just trying to find bosses at some point. I'm just like roaming the land, finding things to kill.
Yeah,
And
of
I think
course.
it's kind of neat. I feel like you fall into character in the game as like oh yeah, cool. I'm just another one of the things now. This is neat.
No, I 100% agree with that. There is a value, a huge value, in my opinion, of
Mhm.
you are the most important person in this story, right? There's also
Yeah.
a thing to be said for you are a shit farmer from heel land, and that's all you'll ever be, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you don't still matter in the context of this of like what's going on, but you are a shit farmer.
Yeah.
And I think it's really hard to do that in a way that doesn't feel like you're making the player's actions meaningless. Not impossible by any stretch, just difficult to do.
There's a delicate balance to it. And since they open up the game saying, "Oh yeah, it's you, the man who's gonna be just a thing that walks around eating souls. Anyway, have fun." And that's like, boom, Dark Souls 2 starts.
Yeah.
It's like it's even less pomp and circumstance than Dark Souls 1, which was already, hey, you gotta ring some bells, bucko. There's one up there, and there's one down there. Anyway, you don't want to go to either of them. Have fun, and then you go to the wrong bell first, and you get your shit rocked.
What was it? Dark Souls 1 or 2 that had the unkillable boss right at the beginning?
It's not one. The Asylum Demon can be killed,
The
but
one
it's
that's let me rephrase
just
that. The one
very
that's not
difficult.
intended to be killed.
Probably Dark Souls 1 then. Dark Souls 2 doesn't really have a boss in the beginning. You just have a bunch of enemies, and then there's some hard enemies that you can't beat. But mostly just because they have an attack that they grab you and they will eat all of your health. So,
Yikes.
yeah, yeah. I tried to beat them like 4 times. I'm like, okay, cool. I literally just can't beat them. That's neat. But yeah, I like the Souls games. Even as a guy that can't play them well, I think they're really great. I think it's really fun seeing Elden Ring just absolutely take off. I've been messaging a friend of mine. He is so fucking excited about this game. He took like 4 days off of work for it so that he could just like bury his head in the sand and have fun. And I respect the hell out of that. He's having a good time. It's just like what you did with Dying Light 2.
Just
It's
powering
just
through it.
nice. And the nice thing, especially, is because, you can use your summons and everything like that. He gets to play at the time when the most people are playing, and I would argue objectively have the best experience that he possibly could.
You
That's
know, it's
nice.
interesting. I was watching a friend play it earlier today, and I don't personally.
Mhm.
I can't imagine wanting to play a Dark Souls game as a multiplayer experience.
I get that.
Like, I feel like there's a value in it. Don't get me wrong, but unless you were, and I don't even think you can do it. So you can't play through Dark Souls like a co-op game. Like as far as I understand it, like not truly.
Well, I mean, you can do a lot of it though. I know some people who are like, "Yeah, I play through the game with my friends."
Because that's doable. In
And
that case,
like,
I get it. But like, short of that, like just pulling in random summons seems like such a nightmare.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely would prefer not to do it with randos. That would be less than enjoyable. But there's ways to make things happen.
Of course, and like, I don't know, it's interesting. I've been seeing a lot of posts about the ghost and message system in Elden Ring that I find both really funny and really interesting. Like how much of it is being just bullied.
Try fingers, butthole.
Not even that. Things like, oh, every single wall has somebody who put a message that says secret door here in front of it.
Oh yeah, everybody does that.
And like, I'd almost rather just not. Personally, I'd almost rather just not play with messages on at that point.
I get that. I
and
think it's
that's-
important to make sure you have the blood stains still, so you can still see where everybody be dying. But
That's fair. So you know that. Oh shit, I'm so fucked.
yeah, oh, I love that. It's just fun.
That's fair. I can see that. But I don't know. For me, I'm like, well, that should just be a like game design thing. Like just put it there in the game. And I understand that's not the point. I understand that it's literally just not the point. I don't know. Personal thing.
Yeah, I mean, everyone plays it different ways. You're able to, like that's the cool thing about it. There is no right way to play as long as you're having fun playing.
Yeah.
It's just nice. Anyway, it's time for us to wrap up. So do you want to talk about Quaxley, your favorite new Pokemon?
Quaxley is my friend and I love him. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. They announced the Gen 9 starters today and showed that they are going to continue in the style of Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's Spain now, which is really exciting.
Oh.
Or at least that like broad strokes region of the country of the world.
Mhm.
Very exciting.
Pokemon
Very interesting.
Spain, just like how the rest of
Spain.
Pokemon is in Pokemon Japan and Pokemon England and
was gonna
Pokemon
say,
Hawaii.
Exactly. Pokespain, if you will. I'm very curious to see how it comes out. I will say the thing that, you know what it is? So I also played Pokemon Go this weekend. There was a community day event. I had Dave and Brian and Tom up here, friends of the show. Fucking, it just makes me want to, it rather make me want to go play like Arceus, right? Or like a new actual modern Pokemon game. It just makes me want to go play fucking Minecraft Pokemon again.
Aw,
Like,
sorry to hear that. But like, it's nice to know that there's something out there.
well, that's it. Like, I really enjoy Pokemon Go. Like, right? Like, I full disclosure, like, I enjoy Pokemon Go just because it's a good reason for Michelle and I to get out of the house and like go do things. Like, I don't pretend like, oh, it's a real Pokemon game. Whatever. It's Pokemon. It's fun. I enjoy it. But as far as like the baseline games, like, I'd rather go just play the Minecraft version where there's other things to do rather than A, just catch Pokemon, and B, it has all Pokemon. And the thing that will endlessly bother me about all Pokemon games is that they don't just have all Pokemon in the Pokedex available to you to go out in the world and catch. Because that's like, if they do a Super Smash Brothers fucking version of Pokemon where the gang's all fucking here, that's going to be the one I buy and dump all of my time into. I have no interest in not catching all the Pokemon. Don't tell me I can go catch all the Pokemon and then not give me all the Pokemon to catch.
No, I can get behind that though. I think that is one of the things that kind of blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's really hard to make sure everything can like actually work that way. Blah blah blah
Shut
blah blah.
up.
But I feel like Pokemon fans, yeah, no, actually, no, I take it back. Pokemon fans would not be happy if you gave them that
No, they'd be
because
pissed.
they would then complain that they missed out on a different game that they should have gotten in that time frame because
Yeah.
they had to wait for this game that isn't even that good anyway, even
Yeah.
though it's exactly the same as every other Pokemon game. And they tweaked out all the weird bugs that people don't like, and they added in the nice effects that people did like. But it would be neat.
It'd be very cool. I don't think we'll ever get it. Like, truly, I don't. Like, I cannot imagine a world in which we ever would. Because, frankly, we see how much work they put into, like, Game Freak puts into a regular Pokemon game. I just don't see any world in which they're like, oh, yeah, you don't want to catch every Pokemon and go to every fucking region? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, if I were them, I wouldn't want to do that either.
But still.
But also, I don't care.
Yeah. Anyway, though, that'll be it for tonight. Thanks for sticking around for OTA After Dark at Night, or whatever we called this one.
OTA After Night. After Dark Souls. There's the title for you, Noah. OTA After Dark Souls.
You know what? Yeah, why not? Why not? Thanks for listening, everybody. Links in the show notes. Check us out. Have a good one.
Bye.